Today, we're talking about what I call the AI agent hype problem. Right now, there's a lot of excitement about AI agents, and there's a common belief that we're sort of on the verge of having digital employees that can execute tasks and generate value all on their own. But here's the problem: a lot of what's being sold as AI agents right now are really just glorified chatbots. My name is Joshua Ebner. I've been in the data science and AI industry for over 20 years, including at companies like Apple, and I'm hearing a big mismatch between the hype and the expectations around AI agents and the reality on the ground. So, in this video, I'm going to explain the problems that I'm seeing with AI agents right now. I'll explain a little bit about what agents actually are and how they should work. And I'll give you some frameworks for thinking about AI agents so that you can make better decisions about how to use and deploy them in your own business. So, first, let's talk a little bit more about the problem that I'm seeing. A lot of entrepreneurs and business leaders that I talk to are very excited about AI agents. There's a sort of promise that AI agents are going to be able to automate large amounts of work, offload especially lower value or sort of repetitive work, and maybe ultimately execute somewhat complex tasks that help generate either more revenue or more profit. But in reality, what a lot of these systems are under the hood are glorified chatbots. You take a large language model, you give it a specialized, what we would call a system prompt, and the user can ask it questions. Maybe it looks up some facts, then it generates responses. This is fine. These types of systems can do certain types of work, especially if you're just asking it simple questions. Maybe you drop some documents into the context window. These can be useful, but this is not a full agent. And I have literally heard people say things like, the reality doesn't match the expectations, or I still have the dream of a fully autonomous AI agent, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I've heard things like this multiple times. There's also potentially other issues like security vulnerabilities. If you're deploying these in any sort of customer facing way, AI agents typically have a lot more vulnerability to certain types of security attack. And if you're not thinking about it and handling it properly, it could eventually be a really big issue. By the way, if you want to know if your company is really ready to use AI, click the link in the description below. Go take my AI readiness assessment. It's 15 questions. It'll take you less than 3 minutes, and it will score you on three major areas that will tell you your AI readiness. Click on the link in the description and take the AI readiness assessment right now. Ultimately, in many cases, the reality of an AI agent is failing to live up to the hype. To understand why there's a mismatch between expectations and reality, we need to understand a little bit more about what an agent actually is and how it should be built. At its essence, an AI agent is a large language model with a variety of other tools and systems around it. We typically use a large language model at the core, and that acts as a reasoning and planning engine, as well as a natural language interface. It's an interface where you can type in a question and then it's going to give you an answer in natural language. But added to that, we typically connect memory systems. First of all, this can be things like databases, vector databases, document stores. Those are forms of what we would consider to be long term memory. There's also a sort of short term memory, the context window itself. Don't worry about all that too much. Just understand that there are different types of memory, and those ways of structuring the memory system have pros and cons. Now, in addition to memory, we often add tools as well to give that large language model, to give the agent additional capabilities. So you might give the AI agent access to things like spreadsheets, calculators. In many cases, we're going to give it access to little snippets of code. We can also give it access to APIs and other software tools. Now, exactly how you do this can actually be somewhat complicated. As you give an agent more tools, that gives it more capabilities, but it also makes it a little bit more challenging to make plans and take actions. And it can often confuse an agent if you give it too many tools. Don't worry about this too much, but I want you to understand that there is some complexity here. So that's sort of the core architecture of an AI agent, but there's still a lot more engineering that needs to go into it. For example, when you build an AI agent, if you want it to operate in a particular way inside of your business, or you need to operate specifically inside of a particular workflow, you're often going to need to give it training examples. Think like a human being. If you need to onboard a human being into your team, you're often going to train that person for a little while so that they understand how your systems and processes work. You often typically need to train a human being how to use specific tools inside of your workflows. The same thing could be said for an AI agent. You often need to train an AI agent to operate inside of your systems, your workflows, to tell it how to use tools, and so on. We do this with traditional machine learning techniques. We take data examples, we give those examples to an AI agent and show it kind of how to do things. So, one of the things that I want you to walk away with is that most AI agents, if you want them to be really valuable and useful, need to be trained a little bit. The second thing that you need to understand with respect to AI engineering and agent engineering is that we often need to do extensive testing because AI agents can fail in some interesting ways. And that testing is often very different from traditional software engineering and software testing. So you need people that understand how to do testing specifically for AI agents. Furthermore, once you deploy the agent, you need to have monitoring systems set up. You sometimes need to set up human in the loop systems. So if an AI agent gets stuck or doesn't know what to do, you should typically engineer that agent to stop what it's doing and then contact a human being or a human expert. Furthermore, there's problems with what we call model drift, where you have an AI agent and you engineer it to do a particular thing and it does it well initially, but then it kind of starts getting off target a little bit. We call that drift. That is very common with traditional machine learning systems. It is also common with AI agents that have been trained to operate in a particular way. They can just kind of get off course over time. So there's a lot of engineering that goes into building a good AI agent if you want it to do serious work and create serious value. Having said all of this, even though AI agents, I think, are going to be much harder to create and maintain than most business leaders think right now, I do want to say that I am enormously bullish on AI agents over the next few years. I think the companies that really get this right and do it correctly are going to have enormous productivity gains. The best companies will be able to generate a lot more revenue and more profit with every unit of labor or input. So, AI agents are going to be powerful productivity enhancers inside of your business if you build them the right way. But building AI agents is actually downstream of something bigger, your AI strategy. So, in this next video, I break down how to build an AI strategy that's going to help you and your company generate strong return on investment. I explain what to invest in, what to ignore, how to pick your use cases, and how to leverage AI in a way that drives long term competitive advantage that compounds over time. You can check it out here: How to Build a Great AI Strategy.